Hello everyone, welcome here. Today, we are going to play some video games. Specifically, we're going to play Zoo Tycoon 1 once this computer finishes booting. A little bit faster than what it would boot in real life, but... Okay. I think volume's a little low. Yeah, it's definitely very low. Let's see. Thought I turned that up a little bit. That's better. It's still going to be quiet. Alright, welcome to Zoo Tycoon 1, where there is no options on this screen and all the options are required only in-game. Yeah. So I already played through all the tutorials earlier, off stream when I was testing it. Well, testing. I decided to play the first tutorial and then it just kind of, I kept going. But anyway, I think we're just going to go ahead and play through scenarios in order until either I get bored or we get the secret animals unlocked. Yeah. Particularly some of the easier ones are a little too easy. And the months to complete thing becomes a months to endure instead of months actually required until you're done. But okay, let's pause the game immediately. I should have actually checked this earlier. I don't think there's any option to change key combos. For some reason, if I set mouse mode to colored, it gets weird. Okay, you can scroll around with the arrow keys, which is nice, I suppose. But this is firmly in the realm of edge scrolling. Alright, so our objective here, exhibit suitability at least 60 for 6 exhibits, animal happiness rating of 80. That's easy. Normally the thing I would do in a scenario like this is I would delete everything and start over, but there's no real reason to do that here. Pretty sure this is a camel exhibit. Be happier with more rocks. The generic small rock is always a good choice. Okay. Suitability is 84. We might be able to do slightly better. Okay, that's too much. Nope, he didn't like that. Okay, he did like that. He's neutral on that. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he really cares too much. Is there anything else I can do that would increase suitability of his habitat? Not really. Yeah. Trying to get that exhibit perfect is going to be non-trivial. All right, what other animals do I have? We have a yeti, a moose, and a giraffe. Okay, well, this one's definitely the giraffe pen. What do you want, giraffe? Be happier with more rocks. Okay. Let's see if he'll like a termite mound, or if that'll be too much. Yeah, no, that's too much rock. Okay, that's too much rock. Okay, 92. We could try fiddling with the exact blend of terrain. Oops. Okay. Alright, that looks like we got that about as right as it's going to get. Oh, there is one thing I can do here to improve their exhibit suitability by a ton. Oops, wrong tree. Why the hell did I grab that one? I want that one. Okay, so the game doesn't tell you this, but foliage is only counted on a full tile basis for there being too much foliage. But if there's more foliage in a tile, it makes them happier. Okay, they don't actually care about that stuff. They want the big trees. Got a little more we can fill in back here. Which means it's always optimal to choose small trees where you can. And then fill the whole tile, all 4 mini tiles, with tree. They don't seem to care about this grass. Which, okay, sure, whatever. But they do like the trees. Okay, that gets us to 100% suitability. Alright. And then this one's definitely got to be moose. Alright, more rocks. They really just didn't put any rocks in these exhibits, didn't they? Alright. What kind of tree is the moose's favored? They like weeping willows, okay. Sure, whatever. Um, let's see. I scrolled past it, didn't I? There it is. I accidentally placed it outside. That I placed in a tile. I didn't already have one. Okay. Technically, it'd be better for me to delete any trees that are not weeping willows. And then just go ham with the willows. There's no real reason to get as close to 100% suitability as I can. I just need to have above the minimum. Okay. It's too much rock. Yeah. He's at 98% suitability. He'll be fine. Alright, what other animals do we have now? Lions are always a good one. They already put in paths to show you where you should put exhibits. They're not great spots necessarily. This one's probably a bit small. Although, honestly, lions right there might not be the worst. I would want to change things up a little bit here. Let's replace that fence with concrete fence. Boom. And then glass front. Get us a bit of path. I don't remember. I think one tile away they can still see through. I think so. We're going to find out in a second. Two females and a male. Pretty much entirely savanna grass. We will have to add some dirt and stuff later. Okay. See, remember where this stuff is. We want a lion rock, of course. Put it front and center so the guests can for sure see that. Large concrete shelter. Too much savanna grass, not enough dirt. Okay. I was just saying. Okay. Now, I think you need a little water. Not enough sand, not enough fresh water. You only need a little bit of water. Okay. Needs foliage. For lions, you definitely want the thorn. acacia, or however the hell it's pronounced. Because it's a really, really easy to place tree. And it gives you tons of suitability. It's really easy to make a very suitable lion exhibit. And also they have a very high guest attractiveness. Okay, can we put in one of these bastards? Yep. And then we'll add some small rocks. Okay. Would like a toy. Well, his exhibit is 100% suitable, so I think he just have to lump it. We are almost certainly going to get a ton of baby lions. Okay. Although this zoo might not last long enough for that. Put those doors closer together so the zookeeper can get to them more easily. Okay. That'll do for now. What next? Kangaroos, probably fairly easy to deal with. We could do a Yeti. That'd be fun. Thompson's gazelle would be easy enough to deal with. Let's do some kangaroos. They're not African savanna, but they are savanna animals. Let's do some basic chain link, which is cheap as shit. It's not very good fence. It deteriorates very quickly, but this is a short scenario. So we likely won't be punished for our transgressions. We need to add animals to it first. Yeah, we'll stick a kangaroo in for now. Okay, do you want more fellow animals? I think we'll do a pair of kangaroos. Okay. Now, damn it. Too much sand, not enough savanna grass. Okay. So, too much sand. Not enough dirt. Not enough dirt. Too much savanna grass. Too much savanna grass. Okay. Needs foliage. It wants some kind of weird tree. Unfortunately, these are a large tree. So we're not going to get massive foliage bonuses here. I don't think the place them all in one tile thing applies to rocks. Well, I know it doesn't. But anyway, not enough shelters. I don't remember what kind of shelter they like. The wood shelter, probably not. Everyone likes the concrete shelter. Okay, that gets us to only 86% suitability. Okay. They do like these here. I'm gonna replace some of these trees. We'll give them like a tree as a treat, and the rest are going to be red gum, which they do not prefer quite as much, but which will be much more suitable for getting their exhibit suitability high. Okay. Now. Okay. That only gets us to 88%. Which is kind of wild, not gonna lie. Alright, anyway, doesn't matter. Let's get a path over here. Alright, that should work. Here, can you see the lines? Yes, you can. Alright. Hell yeah. Let's see if modifying these trees can get them to a higher suitability. No, they're still at 88. Yeah, I'm not sure what their problem is. Alright, anyway. Alright, one more exhibit. I could do leopards. Let's do a Bengal tiger, maybe. Bengal tiger sounds fun. Also, why do we have guests over here on a path that's not connected to anything? Go away. Get back to the real path. Okay. We have plenty of money, so there's no reason not to just use expensive walls. Alright. You are going to be part of the tiger exhibit. 1 second, please, while we add a... There we go. Now, where'd that damn zookeeper go? All right. Too much grass, not enough rainforest floor, not enough fresh water. Not enough dirt, not enough shelters. Okay. Not enough fresh water, too much rainforest floor. Too much rainforest floor, not enough water. Okay. Now, you guys like mangroves? Yep. These are another pretty decent animal to keep, if I remember correctly. Alright. Hello, Dread. Your blower motor is struggling to run, now you have to help your brother fix it? That sounds like fun. Alright, let's sprinkle a few around the actual exhibit instead of just putting them all against the wall. Alright, there's our 10,000 emergency dollars. That's fine. Oh. We got baby Bengal tigers running around. We better get this so that visitors can come look at the tigers. Alright, that's a pretty big draw. Apparently these guys are just obsessed about foliage. Okay, there we go, finally. Now, rocks. That's enough rock for them. That gets us to 94 suitability. Not enough shelters. I think I can jam one in the back corner. 100 suitability. Okay. Well, I do believe that we have completed the scenario. The lowest suitability any of our exhibits has is 85. And that is this ornery ass camel for some reason. Yeah, I'm not sure why he only has an 85. And these red kangaroos for some reason won't go over 88 either. But everyone else is in the 90s. There's nothing left to do except wait for the scenario time limit to run out. Oh. That and try to make a little bit of money. The animal theater and the carousel are big money makers. I hope you like that sound because you're going to be hearing a lot of it. Three months left to complete the scenario. Well, game, I've already done that. The scenario is completed. There's actually one thing we can do here that would improve things a little. Sell the drink stand. Sell the restroom. Sell the burger stand. Sell the trash can. Put in... where's that? There it is. Family restaurant. That's salad and picnic tables too. Okay. Where's that lazy ass maintenance man? Get your ass over here and clean up that trash. I want to build a restaurant and it's in the way. Where are you going? Clean that trash up. There, finally. Alright, there we go. Because the restaurant combines all guest needs in one building, basically. So it is optimal to have the restaurant versus having anything else, really. This is a horribly designed zoo, but I didn't feel like bulldozing the whole thing and redoing it. Which I really should have, honestly. We could have saved a ton of money if we had rebuilt, torn down all the fences, replaced them all with chain link. Of course, I use concrete fences in some of these places, but anyway, we could have torn down all the fences, replaced them with chain link. Since the train modification's already done for 3 of the exhibits, we could have just left those more or less. We could have made a lot of money back destroying unnecessary decorations. That trash can needs to go. Trash cans are ugly. Guests don't like seeing them. Where's that lazy ass maintenance man? He is sweeping up trash, so good on him, but like empty out that trash can. Guests hate full trash cans more than they hate normal trash cans. And since we don't have any concession stands anymore, except the restaurant, which takes care of its own trash, we don't need trash cans. Alright. And now we wait. This is probably the only problem with this game. The scenarios all have fixed time limits to complete them, and if you complete them early, you just wait. Because it's not complete X by the given time limit. It is have X completed at the time limit. No fast forward. Unfortunately. But I suppose we could spend the time tinkering with things, trying to improve exhibits or something if we wanted to. I am inclined to attempt to improve this damn camel exhibit. Okay, the camel didn't like that. Somewhat unsurprisingly. It's got the wrong type of terrain inside his exhibit now. How dare. Wait, I forgot. These buttons are really annoying. You would think pressing this button would rotate you counterclockwise and this one would rotate you clockwise. Or rather, yeah. I always press them backwards, let's put it that way. Let's see, which one did I actually want? There we go. All right, now, okay. Do we have any desert foliage? You like palm trees, don't you? Yes, you do. He likes quiver trees, but quiver trees are large trees. And so we can't get the multi-plant bonus by using them. Actually, here. Let's remove some of those rocks and give us a small desert rock. Okay. Okay. Now what's your suitability? 86. We got one whole suitability by adding that little stretch of sand. Ooh. Slightly better than it was. Basically, that's telling me that we need to build a bigger exhibit for the camel if we want higher suitability. So let's do that very thing. Okay. Give me the bulldozer. Oops. Yes, I'd like to merge them. The camel's unhappy with that change because his exhibit isn't quite as suitable as it used to be. That's very easy to fix. I'm going to remove these small rocks because they're generic. So he might be happier with... Okay, that's way too much rock. Okay. Nope, we're at pretty much exactly the right amount of rock. Okay, what do you want, you bastard? You're back down to 85 suitability. Really? What is this problem? Is the stable really the optimal? It probably is, but we can check. Um... 85. Okay, he does like the stable. Okay, we got a male camel. Let's throw in a female camel and see if that makes him any happier. Yeah, that gives a little more suitability. Here, would you like another lady? Didn't really change anything. Okay. Well, they're not complaining about anything, I guess, so... There must be something I'm missing. We definitely can't add more foliage. Definitely can't add more rocks. There's no way they want water. They want water. I got us one whole suitability. Okay. Are there any other changes we can maybe add? Yeah, definitely not brownstone. Definitely not graystone. Okay, I think that's about as perfect as we're going to get their terrain. We're still stuck at 86 though. Annoying. Looks like we have baby lions running around. Okay. That's actually one thing that's kind of annoying, honestly. You will almost always have baby lions, which sure makes the lion exhibit massively attractive. But also, you gotta go in there and sell the damn lions all the time. Blah. They are really good filler animals, though, if scenario objective needs you to have X number of a certain quality of exhibit, but they don't have to be unique animals. You just fill up on lions and all is well with the world. Actually, let's try... Nope. They want flat terrain. Okay. I didn't think they'd want anything else. Getting 100% suitability is usually not hard at all. Let's see. Boom. somewhere in here. This is actually included on the disc with the game originally. Good old Cybec official strategy guide. But somewhere in here is a list of all the animals and their exact requirements. So we're going to look up that damn camel. Desert animals, page 76. I think we went the wrong way here. Desert animals. Okay, camel. They want a stable African desert, 20 tiles per animal, 88% sand, 10% dirt, 2% fresh water, rocks, foliage, palm tree, prickle pear, quiver tree. Okay. It is somewhat exacting in its habitat requirements. Wow, thanks. Minimum 20 tiles per animal, 88% sand, 10% dirt, 2% fresh water, 1% rock, 1% foliage. Okay. I don't think that actually told us anything useful that we didn't already know. How large is this exhibit? It's 8 tiles by 16. If I reduced it very slightly, let's see, 20 tiles. Yeah. Okay. I wonder if I reduced it to exactly 100 tiles, if that would improve it. Because that'd make it easier to get a perfect terrain ratio if we had a because right now technically they probably have a little bit too much water. Let's see. That or we can make the exhibit bigger. Again. But make it bigger in a more exacting way. So if we did 8 by 20, that would be damn it, brain work. Be 160 tiles. I think. Because 8 by 10 would be 80. So if, in other words, if we went down to this end, we'd be at 160 tiles. Now if we added 40 more tiles onto that with an L, we'd have 200 tiles. And that would be enough for 10 animals, which is actually the max that they would ever want in an exhibit. So... let's see. So that's 8 times 5, which should be 40. Plus the existing... let's see. This would be 32. Here. Let's grab something random I can use as a marker. Okay. Oh, we won. Alright, well, no more tweaking that exhibit, I guess. On to the next one. Exhibit suitability rating of at least 60 for 5 exhibits. Average animal happiness of 80, average guest happiness of 80. Now, there's a really easy way to cheese this scenario, and that is to build 5, like 20 tile or whatever it is, lion exhibits. We will not be doing that. What we will be doing, though, is pausing the game immediately at the start and deleting every single thing inside this zoo. This is usually step 1 of any scenario. Delete everything. Oops. Go away. Because you can always do better than what they did on your own. Okay. Dirt path is cheap. Also ugly, but anyway. Doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll do it like this. We can see better. Okay. Now. Let's do chain link because it's cheap. And by the time our sins come back to haunt us, we'll have finished the scenario. Okay, 5 tiles. By 10 tiles. That'll give us a nice 50 tile exhibit, I believe. This is going to be lions. Okay. Boom. The reason we're doing lions to start is because they're cheap, they're easy, and they actually are not giving us lions. Well, screw you too then. Okay, well, that's annoying. They always give you lions. Well, I guess not. Let's double the size of this exhibit. Because while I know for a fact that you can make a very easy 50 tile lion exhibit, and I've done millions of them, I'm not quite so certain about the other animal types. So we'll do a slightly larger. And we'll pop in... we could do a hippo. I think we're just going to do some zebra. Two females and a male. Not enough savanna grass, too much dirt. Okay, what kind of foliage do you like? You like grass, that's good. Not enough fresh water. This, it doesn't refresh when you are paused. However, if you open and close it, it does refresh. Okay, not enough shelters. It's easy to fix. Boom. Happy with more rocks, more foliage. Okay. Does not like the stable. Really? Okay, that means they probably want the lean-to. Yeah, there we go. More rocks. Okay. That gives suitability of 86. That is actually obnoxious. Really? Okay, whatever. Fine. We'll take your stupid 86 and be happy, I guess. All right, now we do want delete that path. I want to have a zookeeper because I forgot to get one earlier. And then a restaurant. We'll just stick it out here as soon as that guest gets their ass out of the way. Move your fat ass. Okay, there we go. And then put that over there. Get out of the road. Okay, there we go. Put it in the animal theater. All right, one exhibit's done. Now we need a second one. Next animal. We still have a bunch of savanna grass, so you might as well keep using it. Let's do a warthog or two. Boom. Boom. Move the doors over here so the zookeeper doesn't have as far to go. All right, the warthog is going to want a lot of dirt. Just fine. He can have all the dirt his dirty little heart desires. Okay, they like thorn bushes. Apparently they want balanced numbers. No? I swear I put in... Yeah, we have 2 pairs. Alright. We do have a burrow. Which is apparently good. They need more fresh water and less savanna grass. That's too much. Okay. Hello, Treebeard. More rocks, more foliage. Foliage is easy. Thorn bushes are a lovely single tile tree. So that's easy to take care of. They actually want quite a few rocks, which I am okay with. Nope, that's too much rock. Oh, you know, one thing that might make these guys happier. There might be a little too much rock in their exhibit. So they might have been overall... Yeah, that gets us to 88 suitability. So they had too much rock. That's what the problem was. Or part of the problem. They're still not nearly as high as it should be. Which is annoying. Okay, these guys are 86 and it's well suited. I hate when that happens. Let's go for smaller rocks. Okay. Yeah, no. Alright. Well, 88 is enough. They'll have to be happy with that. Next animal. Actually, wait, not next animal. Now, we put in a viewing area for that animal. Okay, next animal. We could do hippo, that'd be fun. Or bison. We're actually pretty close to just grassland here, which would be pretty easy to do bison. Alright, you, buddy, take care of those two. And you take care of that one. Damn it, I can't... I wish you could assign to as exhibit when you don't have an animal on it. It's not really a big problem. Let's put in a pair of bison. We actually might want to double the exhibit size. So we could throw in a few more bison. They're probably good with this exhibit. Yeah, screw it. We're doubling the exhibit size. Okay. Now. Too much savanna grass, not enough fresh water. That's much better. They want broadleaf bushes. Sure, I can do that. If I can remember where they are on the damn list. There they are. That's too much. Okay, what kind of shelter do you guys like? Wow. Probably a stable. Yep. And then for rocks, I don't think there's any dedicated grassland rock. Actually, there is. No, there isn't. It's coniferous forest. We're at 91 suitability. Not enough shelters. Okay. That gets us 93 suitability. Good enough for who it's for. I could probably keep trying for 99 or 100, but that way lieth insanity. Okay. That gets us to 94. Even though technically there's too much foliage. Okay, well, ignore what they say they want and keep piling on the foliage to get them up to 99. Or 100 if we can reach it. Because there's no tree like too much tree, apparently. Okay, it's actually going down now. Okay, now it's at 98. Still at 98. Let's try a small rock. Let's try to get exactly as much rock as they want. Okay, that's too much rock. Okay, that went down to 97. So despite them complaining that was too much tree, it's actually the right amount of tree. Okay. Wait, they don't want dirt at all? Wow. Well, there we go, 99. Okay, well that's enough screwing around with that. We have a 99% suitability bison exhibit, which I got by adding, quote, too much, end quote, foliage, and then very carefully tweaking the last little bits of their rock and such like. Which means we can probably get these little assholes higher. Nope. Okay. Well, there's 90% suitability for the warthogs. That's a little higher than they were. That's 92 from adding, quote, too much, end quote, foliage. 93 from adding, quote, too much, end quote, foliage. Make that 94. 96. Okay. Oh. They might have too much sand. Damn it. I wiped out both. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I'm screwing around with that, other than that it's kind of fun to endlessly tweak the exhibits to get them perfect. We need to build multiple more exhibits to not fail the scenario. And we're like halfway through it already. Let's see. We have 3 good exhibits. We need 2 more. What's the next animal? Let's do a jaguar. Nice rainforest animal. Actually, no, let's do a camel because there's this giant plot of desert over here. And I'm feeling extra lazy. Okay. That should be 20 tiles? Or is it 15? I think it's 15. Yeah, it's 15. Okay. That should be 10 tiles. Boom. Buy a zookeeper. You're assigned to that exhibit. All right. Male and female camel. Too much sand, not enough dirt. It doesn't mention water, but it does need a little tiny bit of it. Okay. Not enough shelters. More rocks, foliage. We're going to give it palm trees because they're well-sized. Okay. And then we'll throw in a variety of different sized rocks. And that gets us to 86% suitability, which is, yeah. There's 87 from too much foliage. It's 88. I have a feeling we're not going to get any higher than 88 from adding trees. Well, there's 89 actually. $90. Okay. Can we push it higher? $91. They're practically living in a forest now. bumped us up to 93, adding more camels and another... Okay, if I delete some trees... No, that straight up makes it go down. Alright, anyway. Exhibit suitability somewhere in the 90s is pretty solid, if you ask me. Where did that damn zookeeper I was going to assign to here wander off to? Get your ass over here. You're the camel zookeeper. Stay over there. Alright. Ah! Guest happiness is only 71. Is there any real reason for it being that low? Not really. That's not terribly low. We might need more restaurants or something. I don't think we do, though. Alright. We need one more animal, I believe. Suitability rating of at least 60 for 5 exhibits. Okay, we need one more exhibit. Oh, what do we want? Gemsbach. It's another desert animal, and we have a desert thing right here. Sure, why not? I'm feeling lazy. Boom. Boom. The entrance right there, sure. Where'd that damn zookeeper wander off to? Oh yeah, that's right. We can't assign it until we put animals in. Let's put a pair. Assign the zookeeper. Alright, what do you little shits want? Savannah grass instead of sand? But you're a desert animal. Okay, whatever. Oh. What? Oh no, 3 months. What will I ever do? How will I manage to build a scenario in 3 whole months? Or how will I manage to finish the scenario in 3 months? We're so pressed for time. More animals of the same type. Not enough shelters. They don't like the lean-to. Okay. Do they like the stable? Yep. Be happier with more rocks, more foliage. They want quiver trees, but yeah. Oh, come on, I've scrolled past at least 2 or 3 times now. There we go, desert. They're probably going to be fine with palms. Alright, and then rocks. Well, I guess it's 88% suitability already. And we definitely do not have the terrain in here perfect. Okay. They don't want any more sand. They don't want any more savanna grass. They don't want any more dirt, so that means they're probably perfect. There's no way they want grass. Yeah, no. Okay. We could try doing a little bit of foliage overloading and get them higher. Get them to at least 90. Well, there's 91. I'm good with that. So I believe we finished the scenario. Yep, we have. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of path here. So they can come look at the animals. Alright. Guest happiness is 74. So now we could, if we had a guest happiness thing, there's a variety of things we could do to improve it. For example, let's go ahead and jam in a Japanese garden. It won't make much difference for happiness, but it will. I mean, it'll make us happier. It won't make us much money. Throw in a petting zoo. We could add like a gift shop and shit like that. Let's see. I don't want any of the basic stands. We could throw in a gift stand, which would actually help a lot. Well, not a lot, but some. Another restaurant, things like that. We don't really need any of that crap. At this point, I'm just kind of goofing around. Animal happiness is 98, which is completely unsurprising. Yeah. I should probably be funding the research. Not that we really need any for this scenario. We will definitely for later scenarios though, so it's a good habit to get into. Zebras, you are at 88% suitability. I should probably try to tweak you a little bit and get you perfect. It's not like I have anything better to do. Okay. Okay. You don't want any sand? Nope. No dirt? No. Okay. So that gets us 89 just by replacing that dirt. Well, there's 91. 94. Okay. See if we can get to at least 95. 96. We're probably losing a little bit of suitability because the zookeeper's being a lazy ass. I should probably give them a specifically assigned zookeeper since they seem to be producing a lot of shit. We'll have one zookeeper shared between these two and one that's just on. Okay. Things are going well. No, we don't have any zoo marketing or anything going. We are losing money, however, that can be easily fixed. So wait, that's this month's fund. Last month, we made money, except we spent more than what we made on construction costs. So I would expect that at the end of this month we will have made a profit if it wasn't for the construction costs. Although we did just start doing research, which takes cash. We could throw in a little bit of zoo marketing, and that would suck in more guests. Also, if we reduce it to, I think it's $19. That is another threshold where they'll think it's really cheap. Okay. I think that's what it is. So the restaurant's making us 4,792 so far. Average profit's pretty solid. The restaurant's definitely making us more money than everything else, which is expected. Okay. The Japanese garden. I don't think you can charge for that, but it does make guests happier. Yeah, there's no admission price to that or the petting zoo. They just make guests happier. The restaurant, animal theater, and carousel are where you make your money. Those three are like massive money makers in this game. Okay. These guys are at 97. We could probably get them to 100 if we tried. Buffaloes are at 99. Camels are at 93. Gemsbach are only at 92. Yeah. How many guests do we have right now? Zoo attendance is down a little bit. We're only at 161. Let's put normal monthly funding. Bison can't find any food. You have a specifically assigned zookeeper. What is he doing? Lazy bastard. Should fire his ass and hire a new one. Anyway. Plains Zebra has given birth. We have completed all the objectives for the scenario, right? Yes. Ooh. Guest happiness rating of 80. Uh-oh. We're at 77 right now. Alright. Let's pull out all the stops. Starting with fancy brick paths. Gonna increase zoo beauty at least a little bit. And then we're gonna do concrete instead of dirt through here. Pretty that up a little bit. Let's add some benches. Every one of these, they have a place to rest. Oops. Exhibit signs. They're a relatively cheap win. Let's see. Yeah, some decorative flower baskets, other bullshit. We'll use concrete observation areas. And then I think we might lower the admission costs of some of these places. Let's slash emissions in half, or admission costs in half. Which is not going to do anything good for our income, but that's fine. We're almost done with the scenario anyway. And I'd rather win it rather than lose it. Alright. Guess happiness has been slowly going up. I'm going to cut zoo marketing because we don't actually want more guests. We want happier guests. Let's see. We'll put a gift shop over there by the entrance. Like, nobody's actually unhappy about anything. We're at 79 guest happiness. Let's crank the emission ones all the way to keep people out. We should have done that a while ago. Come on, we need one more happiness point so I don't lose the freaking scenario. I'm going to be very annoyed if I have to do this over a second time. Is there anything else I can jam in to increase happiness? I can try to stuff in a second restaurant, maybe. I don't think that'll help. Here. Leave the damn zoo, please. No? Here, go check out the baby animals then. Why are you unhappy anyway? That should improve his happiness a good bit. Okay, we're at 80 guess happiness. Good. It was very slowly going up, so we're fine. I'd like to be a little higher than 80, though. There's some later scenarios that require you to be at ridiculously high guest happiness levels, which takes quite a bit of effort. I remember a few notable ones where near the end of the scenario, I literally deleted all the paths, moved all the guests to the entrance area, and just built a little tiny loop of path that had every amenity possible just jammed tight in around it. So there was no way a guest could be farther than minimum distance away from wherever they desired. And there were only like 1 or 2 animal exhibits within range that they could even look at. With all high attractiveness animals. Because if I just let them wander around the zoo, the happiness never got high enough to win. But anyway, we're at happiness of 82, so we're fine. We probably would have been fine if I hadn't done anything, honestly. But jacking the admissions fee up was definitely the smart thing to do here. Because happy guests are more likely to stay, and the unhappy ones are more likely to leave, and so we are slowly but surely okay. Looks like we have baby animals in almost all the exhibits. That's good. Baby animals boost exhibit. Baby animals don't actually count against the population cap of the exhibit, but they boost the exhibit attractiveness a ton. The downside is, of course, that then you have to run around and sell off animals periodically so that you don't overpopulate when they grow up. Yeah, we're up to 84 happiness. Okay, that was easy. On to the next one. Small plot of land in a wooded area outside the city. Okay, goal is to create a small zoo. It can be used as a haven for animals. Not be able to adopt any animals in this scenario. You'll all be donated to you from other zoos. Okay, so we'll basically we have existing animals that will be delivered and we have to build exhibits for them. Zoo exhibit suitability rating of at least 70 for 6 exhibits. Average animal happiness 85. Zoo rating of 60. 12 months to complete. This should be trivial. Zoo rating of 60 is no problem. Basically, as long as you're not completely incompetent, you should have that. Okay. Let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at the place. Yeah, there's nothing notable here. Let's delete everything in the zoo. That gets us a solid injection of starting funds. All right, what do we have? Grizzly bear, black rhino, Bengal tiger. That's everyone? Okay. Let's see, what kind of zoo plan do I want to lay out this time? Let's do straight in like that for now. Let's put actually no. Let's do this like so. Into there. And then we do a double path like that. That'll give us room to put decorations and shit up the middle if we feel like it later. Okay, now. Let me think. Let's go ahead and put the rhino here in the front corner. Then we'll put in the grizzly bear there somewhere. And the tiger over here for now. And we'll build concessions on the other side of the path, maybe? With an L. Actually, here. Yeah, we'll build a zoo in this shape. We'll put concessions and stuff across the top here. And then maybe down here, and then more exhibits over here. Something like that. And I'm sure we won't use this whole area for 3 exhibits. Okay, there's the viewing area for the first one. Yeah, like that. 3 below, 3 above. Although, actually, I want to do that a little differently, I think. like that. That's how we'll do viewing areas. Okay. We'll use chain link fence because I'm a cheap bastard. Okay. That'll do. Nice large exhibit. Let's just do a whole bunch of nice large exhibits. Okay. Now, let's get a zookeeper. Rotate so we can see the whole place. Too much grass, not enough savanna grass, not enough dirt. All right. Your standard complaints. Too much grass, not enough savanna grass, not enough dirt. Happy with more rocks, more foliage, not enough fresh water. We got to be really careful. Okay, his exhibit is basically acceptable long enough that he is not going to instantly go berserk. Okay, grizzly bear. Too much grass, not enough fresh water, not enough deciduous forest floor. All right. It's not enough. Okay. He wants a mix of deciduous and coniferous. Coniferous. I need some fresh water. Too much deciduous, not enough coniferous, not enough fresh water. Too much grass. Not enough coniferous. Okay. Unless I read that wrong in the first place and he was complaining about too much. Not enough deciduous. Okay. I went too far. This is why working on this stuff while pause is kind of annoying. Needs more foliage. Birds exhibit more cliffs or hills. Okay. All right. Let's get the basic train sort of in shape for the Tiger now. Exhibit's too steep. All right. Well, clearly I should have reversed him in the bear, and now it's too late. Oh well. That's gonna be beastly expensive. Okay. Too much dirt, not enough rainforest, too much grass. Not enough grass, okay. Too much rainforest, not enough grass. Not enough shelters. Damn it. Go where I click you. Okay, happier with more rocks, more foliage. Okay. We've got the basics for him. Oh, fine. Needs more foliage. What kind do you like? You want thorn? Okay. I will happily provide you with as much of this shit as you want. Well, we've got our second delivery of animals, because apparently these exhibits are good enough. They are not, by any stretch of the imagination, good enough. But anyway. It wasn't just a capacitor. That is unfortunate. Game, you better not be crashing on me. I think it done crashed on me. Well, I don't appreciate that at all. And good old Windows 9.x, Alt Tab definitely is not working. Well then. Let's see. Trying to remember if any of my ancient Windows voodoo. It's before autosaves. Yeah, I don't know if this game has autosaves or not. Probably not. I think I'm just gonna hit the hard reset. Yeah. Yes, I do want to reset the emulated machine. We weren't that far into the scenario. Yeah. Scan disk want to do its thing. All hail Windows 98. Okay. Microsoft Game Studios logo from back when they were a good, actual good game studio. Yes. The audio levels are rather quiet at this point, but Windows Startup Sound brought you back to grade school. Alright. Yeah, there are no saved games because I didn't make any. Okay, Forest Zoo. Yeah, we only need 70 exhibit suitability, which that's ridiculously low. Had some horrible flashbacks to those days in Netscape Navigator. Okay, instant pause. Hopefully this time we will have 100% less crashes. Give me all your money. Do you want to use the same zoo layout as last time? I don't actually think so. I think that I'm going to go ahead and use a slightly different zoo layout that's more efficient of the space available. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should have it. Wait. Yeah, okay, that's right. Boom. Simple 100 tile enclosure. Made with only the cheapest materials. 8, 9, 10. That should be 10 as well. Okay. Now, this time we're not actually going to stick the animals in right away, so I can do them one at a time. The rhino is going to go in that one. The tiger is going to go in this one. And the grizzly bear, with his like for hills, is going to go in the far one. Okay. Now, rhino. Let's get you a zookeeper. Now let's start laying out zoo paths. I think we're going to go ahead and lay out a little path like that. Okay. Let's do double wide path up through there. Okay. Now we'll put another exhibit over on that side. Now, we'll worry about concessions and shit like that later. For now, what do you want? Too much grass, not enough savanna grass, not enough dirt. All right. Not enough savanna grass, too much dirt. Okay, one important thing to know is that too much dirt, not enough fresh water. Okay. He probably wants more fresh water than that, but we'll roll with that for now. More foliage. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. So I guess it doesn't matter that much. We're already at 98 suitability. We haven't even placed any rocks. And we haven't tried tweaking the exact balance of terrain yet. Okay, well, he's at 99 suitability. We take those. Now, for Mr. Bengal Tiger. He wants a suitable exhibit. Wow. Okay, too much grass, not enough rainforest, not enough fresh water. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to say now. It's important to understand that you can make all the trade modifications you want, and it doesn't cost you anything until you press that little confirmation checkbox, or otherwise exit the menu. So sometimes it's well worth just keeping your changes unsaved while you tweak endlessly until you get exactly right, and then you just save it and pay the upfront cost once. Can save you a lot of money. These guys like quite a bit of water. They also like quite a bit of rainforest, and they definitely don't like temperate styles of forest floors. They do like some grass. Too much grass, not enough rainforest, or not enough dirt. There's too much dirt. Too much coniferous. Where is it? Too much dirt, not enough grass, not enough rainforest. Not enough grass.
Wow.
Shut up, bear. Nobody cares about your opinions. Not enough rainforest. Yeah, anyway. Let's give him a shelter. Actually, I think we want the cave shelter for the bear. Okay, we don't have the cave shelter unlocked yet, so everybody likes the concrete shelter. And if they don't, well, they just have to suck it up. All right. You want foliage, rocks. I know from experience that this guy wants like 1,000,000 mangroves. Here. Let's max out our research funding. Let's lower our emissions cost to 1975. Put in normal marketing. Let's go ahead and build a restaurant. Boom. And a carousel. The animal theater is not going to fit in there. So we'll put it out here in the end. Yeah, good enough. Boom. Okay. Unfortunately, we can't do things like make sure every single pen is a breeding pair so that we get tons of baby animals. So we can't get tons and tons of attractiveness for our exhibits that way. Which is definitely the easy way to get exhibit attractiveness. So guests have a vision range of 10 tiles, if I remember correctly. Which is another reason to make your exhibits no more than 10 tiles deep. But they have to be within 2 tiles of the exhibit itself to see through the fence. So that's why you can have up to 1 tile of gap between the viewing area and the exhibit. So technically they can't see to the very back line of the exhibit, but they can see the entire rest of it. Which is fine. Get out of there right and click on you. He's at 96% suitability. We haven't placed any rocks yet. And he's still happy with more foliage. This is an easy 99. Let's stick a limestone rock in the middle of that. Get a mossy rock over there. And let's stick a couple of small rocks in. Nope, he doesn't want small rocks. We are at 100% suitability. Oh, we're not getting any better than that. Alright, Grizzly. What do you want? Okay. Needs more foliage, too much grass, too much dirt. Roger that. Okay. Now. Let's make sure there's no salt water or anything in here. Nope. Okay. Happy with more rocks, needs more foliage. He wants yellow cedars. Every animal has more than one type of tree that they like, but it just says one of them. So generally it can be worth trying other trees too. But in this case, the tree it says he likes is a quarter tile tree, so I really could not possibly care less. About trying other trees. We're just going to use the easy option and he's going to like it. Animals that like a quarter tile sized tree and like lots of foliage in their exhibit are the easiest to get maximum suitability in. Those kind of animals, you can crank out suitable exhibits all day long with hardly trying. Like, look at that. We're already at 93 and we haven't even placed any rocks. Okay, finally. I was actually getting tired of placing rock trees. Let's give him a big honking rock in the corner. He's at 100% suitability. We're done. All right. Is that 3 100% suitability tree exhibits? No, the rhino's only at 99. Okay. What do we got now? Plains zebra, saltwater crocodile, and a clouded leopard. Okay. Poor rhino. I think he'll probably figure out a way to get over it. Maybe. Okay. Now. Let's start with the saltwater crocodile, actually, because that sounds more interesting than the rest of them. Let's do chain link, because it's cheap. Boom. Boom. And boom. It's not where I wanted to put that. Okay, there we go. We should probably hire a second zookeeper for over on this side. Where's the first zookeeper? Here. You, buddy, take care of those 3. All right, saltwater crocodile. He's going to want a lot of water. Too much grass, not enough dirt, not enough salt water. More animals the same type would make him happier. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't have more animals the same type, so you'll have to lump it. Not enough salt water. Not enough salt water. Still not enough salt water. There is not enough salt water. There's too much dirt. There is not enough salt water. If you get off that damn corner, I could try that. Whatever. He needs more foliage. What kind of foliage does he like? Water reeds. Okay, excellent. Okay, no, he's good on that. Now, water reeds. If I remember correctly, these are a quarter tile aquatic plant. He doesn't appear to need a shelter, which is great. Okay, we're up to 87. You would like more rocks. Alright. That's fine, we can do that. Let's place a couple of large rocks out here. And then a few medium rocks. Nope, he doesn't want any medium rocks. Would he like a small rock? Nope. Okay. Well, he's at 89 suitability. So he might just have to lump it and take some more plants. Okay, 90 suitability is good enough. Some animals are a lot harder to build nice exhibits for than others. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. Should we put the zebra next to the crocodile? Yeah, let's put the zebra next to the crocodile. That seems like they would enjoy that. That is too large. It's not too large, but I want all of them the same size because I feel like it, that's why. Alright, the zebra is definitely going to be unhappy because he doesn't have more animals. Too much grass, not savanna grass. Could have told you that already. Okay. Update. There we go. Too much savanna grass, not enough fresh water. We still haven't confirmed this yet, so swapping back and forth between savanna grass and water is free effectively. Does he want any dirt? No. How about sand? No. Okay. So he's got very basic desires. More rocks, more foliage. Not enough shelters. He'd probably like the stables. No. You want Celine too? Yes. Alright. More rocks. Okay. He's only 80% suitability, but we haven't even started placing trees yet. We should be quite happy with these umbrella thorn. Okay. Doesn't want very many of them, apparently. 86 suitability. He would like more animals of the same type. Well, he's going to have to lump it. I think we're just going to leave him alone on 86 because I don't care. How long is this scenario? 12 months. It's February and we're almost done. We have the zoo rating. We have the animal happiness rating. We need one more exhibit built and we're done with the scenario. Some of these scenarios are too long. That does mean we can spend infinity amount of time fiddling with the zebras later to try to get them higher. Or zebra. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. We get our 10,000 emergency funds, which is a thing you always get if you run low on money for the first time. So you can just price that into your starting funds effectively. Alright, what do you want? Would like to have a mate. Well, sucks to be you. Because I can't adopt animals in this scenario. Not enough grass, not enough rainforest. Happy with more rocks. Okay. Okay. You would like to have a toy. I don't know if we actually have the toy for them. No, we don't. Okay. Let's go ahead and give him the good old concrete shelter. Needs more foliage. He likes mangroves. That's good. We're going to give him a ton of those. Might as well unpause so that research and stuff like that proceeds so that we can get a hold of the leopard log swing or whatever the hell it's called, which is what he wants as a toy. Researching things in this game happens in a random order, so it might be quite a while before we can see the leopard toys. Okay. Oh, we're out of money. Alright, well, how unhappy is the leopard right now? Oop. Damn it, I had him selected already. He has 92 suitability, and we haven't placed any rocks. We're not done placing foliage. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. We have completed all the scenario objectives except the 12-month wait time. I really wish I could adopt more animals. I did start... Yeah, I think I did. Rock caves now available. So I could turn off everything except animal enrichment. But, like, that would still get us the lion climbing rock, which is the next thing. But that should hopefully get us the leopard toys sooner. Because it'll reduce the chance that it'll select a research topic that's not useful to us. Alright, you, buddy. Get assigned to those three. Okay. Oh wait. I have 2 plains zebras. Oops. There isn't any other animals. I somehow missed waiting the entrances there. Doesn't look like it. Okay, that should immediately make the zebras a little bit happier. They still want more animals of the same type, but at least there's 2 of them now instead of just 1. I don't know how I missed that second plains zebra. Alright, let's bump up our zoo marketing. No, let's not. Let's leave it alone. Okay. Well, I guess now we just wait. We're low on cash, so we can't waste money on anything. We could probably stop spending money on research and conservation and be fine. But we are making money, so... The restaurant makes pretty solid cash. The carousel makes pretty solid cash. The animal theater is paying for itself. Although it's not spectacularly amazing. Okay, lion climbing rocks available. What are they going to research next? Swinging log toy. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn the rest of this crap back on now that they're researching the right thing. I think this is the right toy for the leopards. Let's leave everything else off until after it's done, just to double check. Oh. Our zoo rating is 73, which is solid 13 points more than we need. So you begin to see why I said that we weren't going to have to worry about the 60 zoo rating at all. You haven't seen nearly enough tourists getting eaten? Well, we could try. Let's see, are there any particularly unhappy tourists right now? That one's pretty happy. Everybody seems pretty happy, unfortunately. Here, you're kind of unhappy. I think Crocodile might like you. Get him, Crocodile. Come on, I know you eat tourists if you're given the opportunity. Eat him. Eat him. You know you want to. Oh, darn. Okay. Well, anyway. We don't really have a whole lot of particularly violent animals in here right now. Nope. End of the month hit and we're seriously negative on cash. That's fine. We'll come out of it with too much trouble. I could reduce the admission a little bit and try to lure more people in. Try to make money that way. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. Now we are making money. We're just not making it fast enough to have a huge spending budget or anything. How many people do we actually have in the zoo? 139, which isn't very many, really. I mean, it's not a very large zoo. And we definitely have not decorated it or anything like that yet to try to drag our zoo rating up. Like a 74 zoo rating is nothing to write home about. It's kind of crap, actually. But it's not horrible either. I'd really like to replace our dirt paths with something better. Yeah. My zoo is running low on money. Yes, game, I know. Remember I said a while ago, get used to the carousel sound? Yeah. Gonna be hearing it a lot. And anytime you don't hear it, it means we're not making money at it. Get your lazy guest asses in there and pay me money for running that carousel. Let's change its colors to something a little less hideous. Let's see. That looks spectacularly terrible. That's definitely not any better. Wow, most of these colors are... They're definitely colors. That one makes it look a little bit more sinister. Make it a little more drab. Yeah. Really not a whole lot of options to choose from when it comes to color. And most of them are bad. Did we get the... Yes, we did. Okay. No, damn it. That's one for the elephants. Bastards. Now we're getting large chimpanzee bars, which we can't get chimpanzees. Annoying. Actually, I'm going to turn off the conservation ones because I don't care. Save us a little bit of money because I don't want any of the things from there. Yeah, we could do some dinosaur digs scenarios. And then I believe like the last ones are... One of the last ones is for breeding paratrinosaurs. Okay. Gorilla climbing bars. Knock it off. Stop giving me the shit for the gorillas and chimpanzees and other bastards. Give me the thing for the leopard. Oh well. It's April. We have until the end of December. It's gonna be a while. On the bright side, we do have a reasonable amount of money built up again. Oh, nope. Now we're negative because we hit the end of the month. But we're not nearly as negative as we were last month, so things are looking up. We could tinker with the zebra exhibit to try to improve it some. If we get it improved a bit, maybe we can get the zebras to breed and increase our zebra population that way. Then we could feed the leopard a zebra. That'd be funny. Once upon a time, many, many years ago, I built myself a guest exhibit. I was really bored waiting for the end of a scenario, I think. And I made a little loop of path, picked up a bunch of unhappy guests from various parts of the park, and dumped them on this path. And there was a bunch of just small amounts of amenities spaced around. Had a little viewing area where the rest of the guests could go past and look at them rocking around in their circle. They were blocked off so they couldn't actually get to the exit to leave. Because there are... Like, you can't put guests inside of an exhibit. They'll just run for the entrance and escape. I mean, technically you can put a rock in front of it, and that'll prevent them from escaping. But then they'll just cower inside the exhibit and they won't act normally. But if you scroll down a bit, then there's decorative hedges and stuff, fences. And these prevent the guests from walking past that area. I think if there's actually no path back to the entrance, they will just start walking cross country. But if there is a path and it's just blocked by a fence, then they won't. Something like that anyway. Whatever the case is, I put a bunch of these rope decorative fences around it to keep the guests in. And Had them going around and around and around forever. Oh. Okay, are we going to get to the cat climbing tree? I believe that is the one the leopard wants. I thought there was like a hanging log or something that some of the big cats could get too. Where they would jump on it. And I might be misremembering though. But in any case, this is the cat climbing tree for the leopards. Which they will enjoy. The zebra's pretty happy. That's good. They're more likely to breed if they're happy. Yeah, so at this point we're still playing easy scenarios. Later there will be scenarios that are genuinely difficult. Some of them very difficult. We could put a compost building in here. Actually, that probably wouldn't help make us much money, but the compost building's fairly cheap. It doesn't cost much to maintain, and it gives you money every time your zookeeper sweeps crap up. And you can just stick it in a corner. It's actually usually a pretty good idea. It usually makes you money in the long run. Japanese garden might be a good idea. The problem is I don't really have space for a Japanese garden. The animal theater could go and I could put it there, but... oh well. We don't need high guest happiness this scenario. So I don't care. I'm more interested in trying to make money. So I guess I could put in like a gift shop down here at the end. Try to suck a little bit of cash out of them. The elephant ride is often worth having. However, you kind of don't want it to be right beside your main paths like I've been putting stuff, because its description tells you straight up adults may find the ride smelly. They actually do not like the ride. So usually you would put it down a little side path with some decorative stuff around it. Kids will find their way down there to ride the thing, and adults will just stay away. And everyone's happy. Alright, cat climbing tree. Let's go ahead and stick that over here. That makes him happy. You would like to have a mate. Well, sucks to be you. Ugh. This exhibit is definitely unfinished. Your zoo has no money. June. Yay, we're almost halfway there. We only have 2 zookeepers, and it looks like things are doing pretty okay. Looks like the small number of animals in the exhibits is making up for the fact that we only have 2 zookeepers. Alright. What's our balance sheet actually look like? We made some money in April. If we removed the construction costs, then we would be making pretty significant money, actually. Yeah. So that recycling benefit that we're making money there, that is the compost building. So we made back 1/10 what we spent on it so far. We'll see if it comes out positive in the long run or not. We probably will. Yeah. Okay. Oh. So zoo benefactors. Every time a guest leaves your park, if they're reasonably happy, there's a chance that they can become a zoo benefactor. And then every subsequent month, they will give you a random amount of money between $100 and $300, if I remember correctly. Which, it's money. It's not a huge amount, obviously, but it can help. Obviously, if you're bringing in tons and tons of happy guests... Oh, we got another zebra. It's a male zebra, unfortunately. At least they're no longer complaining about not enough zebras. Oh well. That should increase the attractiveness of that exhibit a lot. A baby animal is worth 3 times an adult animal in attractiveness. So that exhibit has suddenly become more than twice as attractive as it once was. I will quite happily take that. What is your exhibit suitability right now? 86? What's the suitability for Mr. Leopard Dude? He's at 92 and his exhibit's not even done. Yeah. Oh well. Zebras are needlessly fiddly compared to the leopard, for example. Any animal that isn't a huge fan of trees is just annoying to max out. Basically, the fonder the animal is of trees, the the easier it is to give it high happiness, high suitability. Okay, this month we're making 3,000 monies. Because we haven't spent all of our cash on construction. Okay. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and spend some more money on construction. Specifically, I'm going to give you some rocks. Six months left to complete the scenario. We're officially halfway done. Well, how many rocks does this bastard want? A million of them, apparently. Okay. That gets to 96 suitability. Hello, Sealith. He does apparently indeed want all of the rocks. He also wants all of the trees, which is good because it makes it really easy to give him a high suitability. We're at 99. Yeah, we're getting 100 suitability on this. No problem. Boom. He would like to have a mate. Well, tough luck, buddy. They didn't give me one, so I can't give you one. There is no clouded leopard box at the zoo entrance. Alright, well, let's see. You are at 90, Mr. Saltwater Crocodile. Zebras, you're at 86. Okay, well, the zebras need repair more than the saltwater crocodile does. I believe I had already determined that there was nothing much I could do to improve zebra happiness as far as terrain goes. Yeah, no. I believe that was all the rock they wanted. Yes. Well, let's overload them on foliage a little bit. See if we can get them to at least 90. $88. And we're out of money. Have I tried Planet Zoo? No, actually not. This is the only zoo game I have ever played. And it fills all of my zoo game needs quite well. Because for some reason I doubt that Planet Zoo would let you feed guests to a T-Rex. Although maybe they do. Yeah. Anyway. The only thing I don't really like about this game at the end of the day, I mean, I have my minor little complaints here and there, but the only true complaint that I have is that scenarios are fixed length. If you complete the scenario early, they don't care. You're waiting out the whole timer. So here we are in July in a 12-month scenario with nothing to do. Except try to get the zebra suitability, exhibit suitability up for no reason at all. Because they actually doesn't matter. Okay, we're still at 88 suitability. So technically they don't like this many trees. But that's not how the game works, so they don't like the first tree, but they like the next three, so there we go, 90 suitability. We could probably try to juice it up a little bit more yet, but I think 90 is high enough. Crocodile, you were at 90, weren't you? Yep. Leopard, you're at 100. Yep. Bear, you're at 100. Yep. There's a tiger in here somewhere, I think. I don't see him, so he knows where he is. It's time to hire a maintenance worker. Because our fences are starting to break down. Might actually go back to Planet Coaster 2 and do like a full screen playthrough, a whole ass theme park. Especially using the pirate mood, and they have some good pirate theme packs. Yeah, I've never played any of those games really. Yeah, never got around to it. Now this is why you don't buy chain link fences. Sometime slightly past your first 6 months, they'll start breaking down. And then you're going to have your running maintenance worker running all over the place trying to keep them from breaking. However, I was a cheapskate, and it turned out to be a good idea to be a cheapskate because we have been having money trouble. Kind of wasting it all tweaking exhibits. Mr. Tiger, you have 100% suitability as well. Yep. And then the Rhino, you have 99% suitability. Okay, well we can get that up. No. My money. Give me more of it. Very old school gamer. I always see you play these older games. Well, every Thursday, I play an old game. And the rest of the time, if I'm playing an old game, it's just because I like it. I do play a lot of older games. Okay, we're still at 99 suitability. I might be able to get it higher by removing that rock and trying to replace it with other rocks. Okay, we're at 98 right now because we built that tree. But if I put in more trees, I bet you it goes back up to 99. If it doesn't, then we truly have way too much tree and we need to remove some. So we'll wait a little bit. If it doesn't go back up to 99, then we'll delete probably the last 2 groups of trees we placed. And we'll try breaking the rock up. Yeah, okay. Rock time. Oops, I didn't mean to pick you up. Okay, we're back to 99. No. That's too much rock, and we're at 100% suitability. Alright, that large rock was just a little too much rock for his exhibit. So all 3 of these across this side of the zoo are at 100% suitability. And all 3 of these are either at 100% or 90%. This one's... Actually, wait, no, you're not 100% yet. Where the hell did you go? Oh yeah, he is at 100%. Okay. Okay, 100%, 90%, and 90%. %. Alright, whatever. Those 2 will just have to be the way they are, though. We are making money. Let's go look at our profit and loss graph. Okay, so last month we spent $8,000 on construction and we made $2,000. Okay. The month before that, we spent 100. We ended up making money overall. This month we're making money already. Even though I spent money building things. If I just don't build things for a little while, we'll make a ton of money. Although, really, I should start replacing these fences with better fences. So far, we've made 1,000 money from the compost building, which means we're still $500 in the hole. Which, by the end of the scenario, we'll have made money off of that. And if we had built it right away at the very beginning of the scenario, we would probably be making money off it already. The larger your zoo, the more animals you're going to have in it, the more the compost building pays for itself. It's usually worth building very, very early. Just jam it in a forgotten corner somewhere and roll. But anyway. For these relatively small zoos in the early beginning scenarios, it's not that big of a deal. What visual options do we have for this? Yeah, that's hideous. And most of these colors are just... But why would you do that, though? Yeah, fine, whatever. Yeah. How much is this money? How much is this made for me? Average income... About $358 a month is average profit. So technically it's making me more than the carousel. Yeah, it's not holding a candle to the restaurant though. The animal theater's not performing all that well either. Usually those crank money out. We just don't have very many people in the zoo as part of it. I haven't really been doing max marketing. Our zoo rating is kind of low. Haven't really been trying too hard to get it up either. I could probably tweak the admissions price to get a little lower to get them in faster. I don't remember what the breakpoints are for the admission price. Because there's like some fairly broad bands where all the prices within that band act identically as far as guests are concerned. I'm pretty sure 29 is the upper limit for one of the bands. And for some reason I think 19 is the upper limit for another one. Yeah. Let's see. Nothing there, it's important. We don't have any unhappy guests, which is good. Oh well. I kind of wish there was a fast forward button, but if you tried to run this game fast forward on a minimum spec computer, it would probably fall over and froth at the mouth. Which I assume is why they left it off. The minimum spec for this game is a Pentium 133 megahertz with 32 megabytes of RAM. I do not believe it requires any kind of graphics card. Definitely not a 3D graphics card. So I'm pretty sure it does just software rendering. The system that I am currently running it on is an emulated Pentium 2 at 450 megahertz with 256 entire megabytes. And that is a balling machine for the time period. Or at least not too far off. Well, this is 2001, so when did the Pentium 2 come out? It would have been a balling machine when it was new. Let's put it that way. It might have been a little... I am curious. When did the Pentium 2 come out? Pentium 2. 1997. Okay, so it definitely wasn't new anymore. Let's see. What would have been the hot CPU in 2001? Was it the Pentium 4 already? Yeah, it would have been Pentium 4 already. Okay. So when this game came out, top computers would have been in the gigahertz already. But it obviously was not intended to be run on something quite that fast. You could if you had it, but you didn't have to. This would have, the minimum operating system was still Windows 95. 95, 98, ME, 2000. That's what the specs state. They didn't list XP despite the fact that it came out in 2001. I don't think XP was quite out yet when this game came out. That or this game came out right after XP, either way. It was right around that time period. So people would have been expected to be running ME. Yeah. But anyway. So this PC, this emulated notional PC would have been a little old, but it was far from too old. It would have been like, 3 or 4 years old maybe. Still reasonably fast. You could still run games on it. Particularly because this one has an emulated... what is the card again? One of the early 3D cards, whose name I currently forget. One of the 3DFX cards. So if I wanted to run something to use the Glide API, I could using this system. Yeah, I don't remember which card it is anymore. But anyway. You almost dual booted Windows 7 just to play AC4 Black Flag the other week? Yeah. Remember correctly, that's listed as Platinum on ProtonDB? I think I looked it up on there. Let's see. Black Flag. Nope, it's listed as gold. Steam Deck playable. Unsurprisingly. And if you scroll down and read this stuff a little bit, people are complaining an awful lot about Ubisoft Connect. But apparently once you get past Ubisoft Connect, it runs fine. Okay. Well, I guess if I ever want to go back to play Black Flag myself. I'll just have to fight to get Ubisoft Connect working. Which I think I already kind of figured out for Blood Dragon. Windows 11 now views the way that Microsoft injected Uplay DRM into games as a memory exploit. I mean, go Windows, but also it's not like Ubisoft's gonna go back and fix their shit, so. Oh. I've got a variety of very deteriorated fences. I really should replace these fences. I do have the money to do it now, so. What kind of fence type should we use? We can use the concrete fences, but these are like absurdly expensive. On the other hand, we do have the money. So let's do the outside with concrete fence. And then let's do the exhibit fronts with that. That should reduce our maintenance burden a little bit. Alright. But a known issue since September 2025. Ubisoft patched Valhalla and Shadows, but they didn't and won't patch Black Flag. Because they're making that remake and they want to force people to buy it. Yep. And they're probably not going to patch any of the other old stuff either because they don't care. Alright, well, we blew all of our cash reserves on new fences. So I guess we'll shuttle the maintenance worker around manually to fix the broken or breaking fences. Fix it, you lazy bastard. Okay, and there's one in there somewhere. They patched the AC3 remake, but not the original AC3. Yeah, bastards. Oh. I will not shed a single tear when Ubisoft eventually goes out of business. They used to be pretty good, but those days are long, long past. Oh. We've got a witch flying over. I don't remember if that means we can still buy the special Halloween decorations or if they've left by now. It looks like they are not available anymore. Yeah. At different points in the year, there are special decorations you can buy. Only during that part of the year. We missed the Halloween ones, apparently. I think it's Halloween and Christmas have them. I don't remember if there's any other parts of the year that have special ones. It's glad that GOG has been doing what they're doing, keeping older games compatible with newer machines. Yeah. The problem is that sometimes they half-ass it. Yeah, they're doing a lot more than anyone else is doing, that's for sure. But sometimes the games on GOG don't work, and GOG doesn't fix them. Yeah, oh well. That, and of course they don't have everything. But that's not their fault. What they do have is quite a bit. But like this game, there's nowhere that sells this game now. GOG doesn't have it. Steam doesn't have it. The only place you're going to get this game is off an abandonware site. I believe I have disc images that I ripped off my own personal CDs somewhere in the archive. But they're a format that was kind of annoying to deal with. They're like special format that Alcohol 52% used years ago. Back when that was a relevant tool. But you can acquire the same exact discs in a different format from other sources. And I do still have the original discs sitting on a shelf in Michigan. If I wanted to drive 5 hours to acquire my original discs and wait for Amazon or whoever to send me a removable CD drive so I could rip myself fresh copies, I suppose I probably could have. But anyway. It's just easier to go download the disc images off an abandonware site. It's not like I don't own a legitimate copy anyway. Game you can't find anywhere legit is the movies. I've never heard of it. Let's see if we can go ahead and do some more fence upgrading. Okay. Boom. That's most of the fences upgraded. Used to have all the old PC game boxes. The attic at your parents' old house, then moved, sold, gave away, dumped all the old stuff. Yeah. I have a box somewhere. I think that still has some of the outer boxes. A lot of them I chucked years ago because they were in like bad shape, and like who gives a shit about that? I still have piles and piles of discs though from all the games I used to own. Sitting on a shelf. There's a few interesting things in there, but most of them are games that I've since repurchased on Steam for convenience sake, or just re-downloaded disk images of if I care about them that way. There's a couple that'd be kind of hard to find a disk image of, but I would be able to if I tried. All your Lego City and Scale Electrics and Hornby Railway sets. Oh yeah, those would be worth money, for sure. Rip. You have only 1 month left to complete the scenario. Oh no, what will we ever do? It's not like we completed the scenario like 8 months ago and have been waiting the whole time since. Let's just double check that we have indeed definitely completed the scenario. Yes, we have. Zoo rating of 60. Our zoo rating is 76, which is kind of pathetic, but I have not been trying to increase it, so. Suitability rating is 70 for 6 exhibits. Our lowest exhibit is a 90. Average animal happiness 85. Current average animal happiness is 98 out of 100. So, I think we have crushed it slightly. The only thing that I could really do as far as making the zoo better would be decoration, mostly. Make it look prettier. Better paths. Place down more decorative objects and stuff for the guests to look at. Because they don't like the look of these ugly dirt paths, but they're cheap, so that's why I did them. Maybe a few more. Yeah, we don't really have enough guests that we need any more amenities, really. Mostly just decoration would be the big thing to get our zoo status up. Because guests don't like an ugly zoo, and our zoo is kind of ugly. That's probably the biggest thing we could do. New paths alone would be huge. And then, like, putting up some benches here and there would help a ton. Getting some observation areas and putting them over top of these would help. Other decorative random ass objects placed around would help some. Zoo map. Put one of those somewhere. Make the guests happier. Maybe a fountain or two or something. But anyway. None of that's important to this scenario, so I didn't bother. We are in December of the end of the year, so we will very shortly finish the scenario. We're almost out of the very easy scenarios. But even a lot of the harder ones aren't really that much harder than this. You just gotta get early money cranking a little faster, and you have to worry more about guest happiness is the main two things that make the harder scenarios harder. Less money, so you need to make more faster. It's a big one. So you need to drop some high attraction exhibits as fast as you can and then just start cranking out the guests. Drop your admission price. Increase your zoo marketing. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay. Let's do some random guess checks. Like, there's no really obvious reason why his happiness isn't all that high. But part of it is just that the zoo is not very pretty. He'd be happier if the zoo looked nice, is basically what it comes down to. Like, he's got... his needs are all satisfied. They're seeing lots of happy animals. It's just... the zoo's a bit ugly. If this was a longer scenario, I'd probably start replacing pads and stuff just for the dome of it. But as it is, it's the 27th of December. Speaking of which, yeah, we missed the ability to build Christmas trees. Oh no. I think. Yeah. Guess if I'd really cared, I'd be paying more attention. Remember correctly, the Christmas tree is actually considered exhibit foliage. Specifically, reindeer like it. Which is not very realistic, but oh well. Yeah. December 29, December 30. December 30. Oh, before we end this, actually, how much money did the composter make us? It has made us a total of 2,450, which means we have made roughly $1,000 off of this thing since I built it. So, yeah, it was worth it. TM. If we had built it right at the beginning of the game, we would have made way more than that, though. Yay, we won. Okay. We have Holiday Tree Farm left for the base game beginner scenarios. And then after that, we go on to intermediate zoos. Revitalize Burkittsville, I remember that one. Inner City, which is a relatively tiny zoo area. Zoo rating of 55, that's trivial. Average guest happiness of 85, that's not too hard as long as your zoo isn't an ugly piece of shit. At least 6 different animal species. Notably, it's not 6 different exhibits. So you can do funny things with savanna animals. Without too much trouble. Anyway. Saving the great cats. Lions, Bengal tigers, white Bengal tigers, Siberian tigers, leopards. I like the great cats. They're pretty attractive exhibits, and they're also, yeah, they want you a ton of different cats. Average animal happiness of 90, that's easy. Suitability rating 85, that's easy. All the cats are easy to get high exhibit happiness for. 18 months. The hardest part of this exhibit, or not exhibit, this zoo is waiting. You just make a bunch of cat exhibits that are all easy to build as far as getting high suitability. And then you kick back and let the money roll into the end of the game. Endangered Species Zoo. I don't remember this one. Oh. You have to breed 3 different animals. Possess at least 1 baby black leopard. Possess at least 1 baby okapi. And at least 1 baby white Bengal tiger. That's not too difficult. You just build exhibits for those 3, make sure they're high suitability, and kick back until it happens. Average guest happiness of 93? That's much harder. Animal happiness 90 is trivial. Zoo rating of 70. I don't know why they even bothered listing that. That's a given. 12 exhibits with 70 rating. That's not hard at all. But that guest happiness of 93 is the actual objective here. Arctic Zoo. This one's not hard. Matter of fact, this one's absolutely trivial. Why is it even intermediate? Oh, they're shipping you animals. Okay, but that's still not hard. Not be able to adopt any animals. That's fine. Beach Resort Zoo. You have to accept a bunch of different animals from different regions. At least 2 animals from the Arctic. Well, you just build like a penguin exhibit and put 2 penguins in it. It's not hard. Let's see. Mountain Zoo. I think I remember this one. This one's exciting because the terrain is really hilly and it costs a lot to fix the terrain. Conservation Zoo. Yeah. Paradise Island. This one's not too hard, I don't think. Average guest happiness 93 is kind of hard, actually. The rest of this, 36-month-long scenario, not that big of a deal. This is the one that once you complete it, you unlock the first mystery animal. And then breeding the giant pandas unlocks the second mystery animal. The actual objectives for this are trivial. Getting the damn pandas to do the thing is the hard part. But mostly that's just a matter of doing some research and waiting. And hoping they don't screw you over, shall we say. Yeah, Holiday Tree Farm. This one will be easy. Moose, Arctic wolf, grizzly bear exhibit. That's all trivial. Yeah. And he wants you to do reindeer as well, I suppose. Doesn't seem like that's an actual objective, though. Zoo rating of 70 is a given. Animal happiness of 90 is trivial. It is a beginner scenario, though. However, it is 10:20. And we're definitely not getting any of those scenarios done in 10 minutes, so I think we're probably going to wrap things up here. Yeah. And we will do more of this as soon as I find the thing I'm looking for. Next week. Yeah. I quite enjoy that game. And we will definitely be playing more of it. But anyway, tomorrow is Friday. And that means EDF. there will be fairly easy time of it, I suppose, since we're back at the beginning of the game again. Hallelujah, I'll be a ranger. Not that horrible knockoff ranger guy who doesn't have any good weapons and can't even run. Not as good as a fencer or a wing diver, but oh well. I guess this time around I'm playing the characters in reverse order of how much I like them. But anyway, you get to endure the torture now. Some people play that class willingly. I'm not sure why, but anyway. Saturday and Sunday, we'll have some Valheim. Monday, of course, will be Crab Champions. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll play more Timberborn. Our current colony is humming along quite nicely. I'm not sure what kind of end goal I want for this colony yet. I need to kind of pick a goal and start working toward it. Like, what kind of goal do I want the colony to have? I don't want to just play that colony forever, after all. We got to have a thing to work toward, an end point. I don't necessarily want to like take over the whole map or anything like that. But I guess maybe we'll just go until I get bored. But I don't want to get too bored because I want to do more than one run. Because I may have a different map that I want to play. It's called Timberpunk 2 if you want to look it up. It's a very easy map that will definitely be a real breeze to play. Yeah. No. Yeah. So this map that we're playing currently, how it had all those explosive traps all over the place that threatened to pollute your water source? Yeah. This map has that too. But also, you don't have a water source at the start of the game. You have aquifer drills that you have to supply mechanical power to get water. And you start the game with a little warehouse a water tank that's got some water in it. And you have to get the aquifer drill running before you run out of water. And then, to add insult to injury, that aquifer drill has only 50 days to live because it's got an explosive right beside it that's already counting down when you start the game. And so, as soon as you get the aquifer drill running and get a little bit of food going so you don't starve to death, you have to immediately scramble to get the tech and resources together to build your own aquifer drill nearby so you can get some water going. And then as the game progresses, more explosions go off to dump bad water on you in various ways or divert it into various channels that will cause problems. Various other sources of bad water turn on over time. You've got to deal with them as they come at you. Yeah, so it's like the current map we're playing, except the running around desperately trying to keep your water from getting icky and red is a much longer affair than the relatively short one we dealt with. That sounds absolutely awful and completely unfun. Well, see, that's where we disagree. And yes, I know by wanting to play this map, I am not beating the allegations, but I don't care. I want to play that map anyway. So I think we got a couple more weeks of our current of our current settlement, and then we'll go start a new one on a more interesting map. Not that the current map wasn't interesting. It was very interesting, but yeah, it doesn't mean it couldn't be more interesting. So I guess you guys have that to look forward to. And then, of course, next Thursday, more zoo. I really want to unlock both of the secret animals this time. I did it years and years ago. I'd kind of like to do it again. Because the secret animals are cool and I'd like to show them off. Also, part of me wants to play through the missions added by Dinosaur Diggs and Marine Mania. Because they have secret animals of their own, and I've never seen those secret animals. But that's a lot of scenarios, and it'll probably take us a few weeks to do all of that. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to try to unlock the base game secret animals. But anyway. Let's see. Is anyone in the old foul list doing anything tonight? It does not look like it. All right. Well, I don't think we're ready anybody then. Hopefully, I see you all back here tomorrow for the EDF shenaniganery. And I will see you all later. Good night and goodbye.